Hey everybody, and welcome to an unbelievably cool wild ride with Steve-O. I really, really feel strongly that I've never been more blown away by the coolness of one of our guests like I was with T.I.P. And man, is he impressive with the movies and the music and the comedy and the business and the construction and the cars and dude, building all of these housing projects for people who need help. I mean, the guy is just unbelievably awesome. And, very candid too. He didn't shy away from anything. He's just awesome. Check it out. People of the universe, I bring to you Tip.
What's happening?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's get you on the mic.
All right.
So, dude, we are parked outside of the world famous Laugh Factory Comedy Club in West Hollywood, California, on the Sunset Strip, and you're getting ready to go on stage and do stand-up comedy.
I'm getting ready to go inside. I don't know if I'm gonna be on this show or the 9 o'clock show, but I will at some point in time tonight, whenever the time presents itself. I'll be doing stand-up.
Good, man. So, and you've been touring, doing stand-up for the last year and a half. Is that right?
It'll be 2 years on January 27th.
Dude, that's epic, man.
Have you always been interested in doing comedy, or is it just something that was like, oh, I want to try this?
No, I won't say. I've always had admiration and a respect for the craft. I've always been a supporter, and I've always had comedians around me as friends, and just haphazardly. And it wasn't until one of my comedian partners, his name K-Dub, it wasn't until he just threw me on stage out of spite,
I did that to him.
Yeah.
Like 1,500 people.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, I mean, dude, that's so near to me because both of us are known for other stuff, and we start doing stand-up, and then it's like, oh, well, this guy's doing stand-up, huh? Like,
Yeah, I mean, people are very, very protective of the art form, and I understand it, I respect it, but at the same time, it's not like they have a monopoly on laughter or something.
That's 100% true. And let's be clear too. It's only some people are protective of it. Mm-hmm. I think that it boils down to whether people have a mentality of abundance or a mentality of scarcity.
Yeah,
I feel like the only people that get pissed off are the people that that's their only job as a comedian. Yeah, but if you have other lanes and outlets, people aren't hating on you.
Even if that's your only job.
Yeah, why would you hate?
Yeah, if you're already kind of solidified and on your path, doing it your way, checking off your goals. It's the people who aren't doing that. They ain't doing shit. You know what I'm saying?
The haters.
Yeah. Well, that's like a generic term, but how I feel okay. So if you historically ain't been shit 17 years consecutively.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you're doing the same thing, trying just as hard last year as you did this year, as you do the next year, and you ain't been shit then, now, or next year, and you just looking for a reason.
Yeah, of course.
So this is an easy escape. It's an easy way to say, this is why it hasn't happened for me. Of
course.
Because people are taking away opportunities.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's just, bro, you just ain't good enough.
You spot it, you got it.
Yeah, and I tell them all the time, it's a long list of motherfuckers that they would have called, even if they didn't call me. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You got Carrot Top, Pee Wee Herman. You got, it's a lot of people, man. It's not my fault. Get out there and work harder.
Did you get nervous going up on stage?
Yeah, I always get nervous going up on stage.
Would you get nervous going up on stage when you're doing music?
No, I'm abundantly certain that this is going to go phenomenally well.
But comedy, you're tripping.
Yeah, with comedy, I can't it's. It's more of a direct connection between you and the audience.
Yeah.
You know, on stage, you got the DJ, you got the music, you got the microphone. People's familiarity with the music is already going to carry you through the show for the most part.
Yeah, and you have hits. That helps.
Yeah, hits is that.
And you have the sickest music of all time.
Multiple
Which really,
hits.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think it's more than just a direct connection with the audience. It's a if you don't deliver the laughs,
Right.
you know, like they'll be excited. This was my experience, you know. Announced Steve O. They're excited to see me because they know me. It's like,
Right.
oh man, and everybody's out to have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
They're rooting for me because they want to have a good time. They
Yeah.
want it to go well. I get on stage, there's that excitement, and then the excitement lasts for maybe like 30 seconds. And
Yeah.
now it's my job to deliver.
Right.
And if I'm not providing entertainment which meets what people are looking for, then it can go south real fast. And that's
Absolutely.
why it makes sense to be nervous.
It's also, you know, people have already predetermined their expectations of you. Before you stepped on that stage, they have already predetermined that expectation of what they should get from the experience and being in your presence. And the same thing for me. When I step on stage, people are already predetermined what they expect from me. Now that I've kind of like, you know, been consistent with being on stage as a comedian, I kind of have added to those expectations.
Yeah.
So, you know, people have laughed here and there. There's enough people who've come to my shows and left like, oh man, I didn't know what to expect, but I liked it. Simply because it's honest. You know what I'm saying? It's honest. It's not me up here trying to pretend to be something that I'm not. Talking about things that you see that I obviously go through, and you know, giving inside commentary on things that you've probably read about me. You know, and finding humor in some of the pain that I experienced over the course of these years, and you know, people seem to appreciate it.
That's epic. When you're out doing comedy over the last two years, what kind of venues are you performing in?
I've done all kinds, man. I prefer comedy clubs, but I've done some theaters. I did some arenas.
Doing
I just
stand-up
opened
in arenas?
Yeah. Not me on the bill
Right,
as
right,
the
right,
headliner, but I just opened up for Dave Chappelle when he came to
Wow.
Atlanta this Halloween.
Wow.
I've opened up for Mike Epps. I've opened up for Kevin Hart.
Boy. There you go.
I did Comic View. They brought Comic View back.
Okay.
I think Kevin and Mike Epps are executive producers. They brought it back, and I did a 15-minute set on an episode of Comic View. I'll go up anywhere if they let me up.
That's
great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
rad.
excellent, man. So,
I like the intimate, the small rooms better though.
all right.
Yeah.
I think that in a comedy club, with everybody's busy eating, you got the servers taking the orders and all that. I just think it's distracting, man.
It can be.
I don't mind if it's a small room, but like just the restaurant factor kind of bums me out, dude.
It can.
Yeah.
What do you prefer the most? I mean, do you like acting? Do you like doing music? Do you like comedy? Like construction? Do you like the car business? Do you like
I like
because you're, I mean, Takers, right?
yeah.
You were really good in that. I was actually
Thank
a
you.
stand-in on that.
For real.
Yeah.
For which character?
I forget the blonde guy. I remember we were doing a scene where it was like we're in downtown LA and it was like a helicopter scene. We had to run down like a skyscraper, but I want to say the guy's name was Christian.
Okay,
one of the main guys, the white dude, not Paul Walker.
Yeah,
but
with the hat.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I did it for like a week or two. But that was, I was like surprised
Hayden
that
Christensen.
I mean, your acting was really good. Like, how did
Thank
you know that you were like that you had it? Because that was a big movie.
Well, thank you. I also produced it. Me and Will Packard.
Oh shit!
Wow.
Yeah. How did I know I had it? My first movie was ATL. I guess I worked my first two movies. I worked with some phenomenal directors. My first movie was with Chris Robinson, and he kind of instilled in me kind of how to deliver the straight face, cool dialogue. He called it, man, I can't recall. It's an old actor, Steve McQueen. He'll say, "Hey man, Steve McQueen." And I'm like,
be cool.
Okay, cool. And I didn't know who the hell Steve McQueen was at first, so then I went back and started looking at him. I'm like, okay, so he's giving it to you with his eyes and not really doing much else with his face and saying the words and staying still. And so I learned that, you know what I'm saying? And that's how I kind of did my delivery for ATL. And my second movie was American Gangster.
That movie was badass.
Denzel Washington.
You know what else is badass? Coffee. And I've come to learn that drip coffee is lame and pressed coffee rules. That's right, man. I just learned this recently, and now I'm never going back. Pressed coffee, and not French pressed. I'm talking Aeropressed. This is what's up, man. It's like, oh, okay. As I make my pressed coffee right here, it's so much faster than the whole pot. I mean, dude. And it's just so much better. Like, you got all that grit and grime with other kinds of coffee. But not this, dude. Not this. And this thing is the most well-reviewed coffee press in the world. Over 55,000 five-star reviews. It's unbelievable. And super affordable. Less than $50. Plus, if you go to aeropress.com/Stevo and use the promo code Stevo, you get 20% off. Yeah, it's got this satisfying... Oh, yeah. Give me that little hiss. You hear that? Ah, yeah. I love it. So, 20% off the most popular, best reviewed presser of coffee in the world. Totally portable. You can bring it everywhere. It's small. It's useful. And it makes the best coffee. They have like competitions, like world championships of coffee pressing with this company. And I love it. I'm never going back. And you can get 20% off your order if you go to aeropress.com. That's aeropress.com/Stevo. And make sure you use the promo code Stevo as well to get 20% off your order. If you're dripping, you're tripping. If you're not pressing it, you're blowing it. So go to aeropress.com/Stevo for 20% off. Now let's get back to it.
Yeah.
The
And Ridley Scott directing.
For sure.
I mean, what's it like acting next to somebody like Denzel Washington, who's at the top of the top? You know what I mean? Like,
the shit feels. I mean, I can't even put it into words. What I will say is, for this scene right here, where he and I were, together, and it was just he and I in the scene. Before we shot this scene, I was pacing back and forth, having, a moment, you know what I'm saying? Just going over my lines. And he looked at me, he said, "Man, you nervous?" And I said, "Well, kinda, man, just, making sure I don't fuck this up." And he said, "Man, come here." And he said, "Look, they could have had anybody else right here doing this what you doing, right?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "But they called you, right?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Do you know why they called you? Do you know what you did to make them call you?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "All right, nigga, do that then. We ain't got no reason to be nervous."
Yeah.
And that was the what he said before we shot this scene.
Dude, that's awesome, man. I loved that movie.
Yeah. And so coming off of those two movies, going into Takers, I just took everything that I learned from my first two experiences and applied it. And I had so many strong actors and characters around me, from the late great Paul Walker to Idris Elba to Chris Brown, Hayden Christensen, Michael Ealy, Zoe Saldana. It was a lot of us. And all I had to do was show up and contribute.
That was a fun movie.
Yeah, it was.
So you're producing movies, acting in movies, with all the music, and then like still the construction business.
Yeah, we just actually my first commercial development is a mixed use affordable housing apartment company.
Yeah.
In Atlanta?
Yeah, we just cut the ribbon on that.
Man,
Congratulations.
Thank
Yeah.
you,
my
thank
girl
you.
was in bed last night, and we're both just on our phones, and I looked at my girl and I said, "Man, we are both so helplessly addicted to our phones. It's pathetic." And she goes, "Yeah, but look at this," and she's looking at your affordable housing project and thing. I was like,
appreciate
"Oh
it.
man,
Wow.
that's so killer."
Yeah, I appreciate it. But you know what I'm saying? It's I kind of weaned myself off of the social media stuff, man. It's definitely distracting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's terrible, man.
Can you talk about the affordable housing complex?
Sure.
It's 140 units,
143, yep.
and it's all in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And you built this with your own construction company, or you bought it and you took it over and you gave it back?
No. So I acquired the land, and I dedicated it to this project that I conceived, or me and my team collectively conceived and found partners, and that partnership kind of grew. The capital stack grew. It's private funds as well as public funds, and so many people had to have a hand in bringing that vision to a reality, including the mayor and Andre Dickens, the former Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms, the Vincino Group, myself, and the team of supporters I have around me.
It's great. Yeah,
that's right.
It seems like you have the Midas touch.
I don't know about that.
Well-
I do some fucking up too.
Yeah.
You know
Well,
what I'm saying?
we're only
I've done
talking
my
about the
share.
highlight reel here.
I've done my share of fucking up too.
I mean, you have your hand in so many different pots. At what age did this hustler mentality come about? You know what I mean?
Fourth grade.
Fourth grade?
Yeah.
And you started rapping pretty young, too.
Yeah,
Like,
about
was it 8
second,
years old?
third grade.
8 years old.
Yeah.
And what is an 8-year-old rapping about?
Man, to be honest with you, growing up without a daddy, having to focus on school when you don't want to, and trying to find ways to be the man of the house when it's just you and your mama.
It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, well, pressure bust pipes and make diamonds.
There you go. See what I'm saying? Midas touch. It's crazy.
What did you say? Pressure busts pipes and makes diamonds.
Yeah.
Either or.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Man, that's epic. The car business. You still got that?
No,
No.
not in the car business. I am still a collector of cars, but I'm not in the car business.
How many cars would you say you have?
Wow. Too many, man. Probably about 17, 18.
Wow.
Do
Do you have a favorite?
Probably my
Payback.
Chevelle. Yeah, that's not mine. All of these are very old.
All right.
All of this is very old.
Can you talk about we had T.Pain on the podcast, and he said
Okay.
most rappers don't wear their nice jewelry out; they wear the fake stuff out, but then they wait to. What did he
never-
say about like when they do shows, the fake stuff shines better in the lights?
I've never worn a piece of fake jewelry.
Really?
Nah.
Because we wanted to do a rap song with Steve where he's just laced out and only fake shit.
Yeah, I've never worn fake jewelry. Authenticity is key for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No matter what it was, it just has to be authentic. Even before I could afford jewelry. If you pull up my second album, Trap Music, I had like a little Bob Marley rope. It was just like a little rope with a picture of Bob Marley on it. I couldn't afford jewelry at the time. You see what I'm saying? So rather than wear some fake jewelry, I wore something that was authentic and a true representation of, the culture that I represent.
Right on, man. And so that's your Second album.
Yeah, that's my second album. Just turned 20 years old this year.
And now you got your second to last album. Is that
Yeah,
right?
I'm working on it. Yeah, I got 2 more albums and then I'm out of here.
You're calling it quits, retiring.
Yeah, I'm done.
Whoa.
Yeah, the name of the second to last album is Kiss the King.
It is.
And then the last album's called Kill the King.
This is true.
Yeah, dude. So,
And you have songs already for this, or are you still in the studio making songs?
Definitely have songs, but definitely still in the studio
And
making
you
songs.
pick and choose. You're like, no, I want this one. I want that one. Do that one for this one. I want this to go to number 4. This is gonna be number 5.
Well, it doesn't exactly work like that. Okay, so the second to last album has a vibe. There's a vibe there, and that vibe is, how can I say? So that vibe is a worldly, sort of communication with girls. You know, communication to girls and women, and you know, for I guess for like a player. You know what I'm saying? R&B. You know, kind of old school, soulful, right? And Kill the King is much more dramatic, sort of like an action movie.
Okay.
You feel me?
I like that.
Yeah.
so what kind of a timeline do you see these albums coming out on?
I might be able to produce them both within the year.
Wow.
And are you gonna hold on to them because you're like, okay, once I do this, I'm done? Or are you like eager to put them out?
I'm eager to put them out, man. I'm ready to, you know, I feel like I've already kind of evolved beyond just music.
Yeah. Of course.
But in order to walk away, I have to earn the right
Okay.
to walk away. That means I have to put an exclamation point on this discography, this body of work that I've dedicated my life to. You don't just like leave it and just walk away and never come back. Never, you know what I mean?
Are you
kinda
gonna
have
tour?
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure I will.
So it sounds like you're pretty well thought out. Do you have like a 5-year plan, a 10-year plan, a legacy plan? 'Cause you
As
seem
far
like
as
the kind
for
of guy.
music,
No, just your life, because you already have that mapped out pretty far in advance.
Sure.
It seems like you're very calculated.
Yeah.
Are you like sitting there like, you know, visualizing your life?
Yes, but that vision changes.
Yeah.
That vision changes as my experiences grow. You know what I mean? Like I just put out my first film as a director a couple months ago. Departments, yeah. And so, you know, with the success of this is now kind of prioritize writing, producing, and directing films. You know,
That's cool.
So I will be working on my next film as a director at the top of the year next year.
Is directing as stressful as like making an album? You think? Or is it like is it just fun? It's different?
It can be as stressful. It depends on who you're collaborating with.
Yeah.
If you surround yourself with people who take it as seriously as you, then you know everybody's just committed to the task at hand.
Yeah.
Dedicated to getting it done. You know, if you surround yourself with people who, you know, are not as focused and committed, it could be a little more stressful.
Yeah. As a director, you have like inspirations. Do you have like a top favorite movie of all time?
Well, I mean, you got to think about like what type of movie.
Yeah,
know?
dude. Movies are like food, dude.
Yeah.
You don't always want to eat Twinkies. Furthermore, if you were to eat Twinkies all the time, that would be a terrible habit. And I'll tell you, a good way to break a terrible habit is to replace it with a good habit. And that's what Fume is all about. What's Fume? It's a diffusive device which flavors air. It helps people drop filthy habits which involve like weird chemicals, frankly, drugs, and replace it with simply flavored air. I always have it in my pocket because I love it. And I have a standing offer with all of the listeners of the Wild Ride podcast. If you see me in person, you ask me, do I have my Fume in my pocket? And if I don't, I will make a shout out video for you and all your buddies. And honestly, there have been a bunch of people who did ask me if I had my Fume in my pocket, and I said, I do. I show it to them and I say, but let's make a shout out video for your dumb little buddies anyway. Because that's the kind of guy I am. Now, what kind of guy are you or girl? Are you going to support the Wild Ride podcast and actually take that step towards quitting your filthy, nasty habit by going to tryfume.com? That's TRYFUM.com. I mean, if you use the promo code STEVO, you get 10% off your journey pack. Start that journey. Be a good person supporting the Wild Ride podcast and be a better version of you by knocking off that filthy habit. So one more time, go to tryfume.com and use the promo code STEVO to get 10% off your journey pack. Let's get back to it.
Yours is Harold and Maude.
I ended up watching Harold and Maude too many times. To
You're
be
so
able to
yeah,
enjoy
you
it
ate too many
anymore.
Twinkies.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Cool Hand Luke. I like Shawshank Redemption. Oh Brother Where Art Thou? I think those are my top.
Oh Brother Where Art Thou is a very good one. Shawshank is a very good one. I haven't seen Cool Hand Luke.
Yeah, Cool Hand Luke was it's in the 50s and 60s. It's old,
Yeah,
Paul
it
Newman, but it's like I just like the directing. My dad was a cinematographer, so like
Got it.
I liked the cinematography of some things, but
You know what I just watched again was War Dogs with Jonah Hill.
That was
War
a good
Dogs
one.
is sick.
That was a
Really
good
good.
one. That was a good one. And another thing, I think it depends on where you are in your life when you're exposed to these movies. So for me, I think probably one of my favorites would be Boys in the Hood.
yeah.
Boys in the Hood. Also New Jack City.
What was that one? Menace to Society. That
Yeah.
movie
Menace to
was
Society
gnarly.
was a very good movie as
What was his name?
O-Dog.
Yeah.
O-Dog and Kane.
I just saw this like thing pop up on a theory that it was actually the same person. It just is two identities. That's what I saw this like meme.
I never heard that, but I do know that O-Dog was supposed to be played by Tupac.
Wow.
Oh really?
Yeah.
That Lorenz Tate.
Yeah, that is Lorenz Tate.
Yeah, he was good in Dead Presidents. You ever see the Dead Presidents?
He definitely was.
That was a really good
That's
movie.
also a phenomenal movie. Same directors, I believe.
Dude, what year was Menace to Society? Because I'm sure I watched that when I
Like
was
93, 94.
Yeah, I'm sure I watched it when I was in that place having the drugs tested on me.
Really?
What?
Yeah.
What place did you have drugs tested on?
It was a place called Pharmaco LSR.
Okay.
The Pharmaco Life Science Research in Austin, Texas.
Mm.
And they were testing drugs for pigs and cows on me.
What?
It was like a medical study for money. And
How much would they pay you?
I made $2,000, dude.
And how
A
long?
day?
In a day?
No, it took 12 days.
So 12 days to make $2,000?
12 days to make $2,000. Plus, I was living on the streets.
What
at
were
the
the
time.
side effects?
Made your heart rate go super fast. The idea was that they were gonna that the pigs and cows would have less fat, be leaner meat. But if they're gonna do this, then whenever anybody eats the meat, that means a trace of the drug is going to go into the human body, which means they got to do tests. They had to find out how much the human body could handle of that shit.
Damn.
And so it was like a dangerous medical study. And I was telling Isaac about it the other day, and he looked it up. I told Isaac, there were only 6 people in the study.
It was
because
inpatient or outpatient?
It was inpatient. We
So
stayed
you
in
stayed
there.
there.
So it's
We
more
stayed
fucked
in
up, so they can monitor you
Damn.
24/7.
Did anybody any fatalities?
No fatalities. One guy left the group because one guy left the study because, and I remember the dude was just drenched in sweat.
Damn.
They wanted our resting heart rate to be over 150 beats a minute.
Jesus.
And there were only 6 people in the study because it was so dangerous. And then I was telling Isaac about this the other day in Austin, because we were in Austin. I was like, man, I was here, dude. I was living on the streets waiting to get into this thing. And I told him all about it. He looked up the drug, and he read off the internet. Very little is known about it. It was only ever tested on 6 young, healthy males.
Damn.
And I'm like, dude, I was absolutely one of those 6.
Damn.
And while I was in there, we watched. It was January 1994.
There's probably like a class action lawsuit you can do.
No.
Nah,
They
it signed waivers, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
It's
He's
not
like
weird.
$2,000, sure. Death, of
Yes,
course.
and Dude, Isaac also read that 80% of pork that you eat has that shit in it.
Damn.
So it worked.
Yeah, well, I guess.
You're still here.
You know,
Yeah.
people. It's a lot more high blood pressure, hypertension, and heart disease out there from things like pork. But
You ever
Yeah.
had to do any crazy thing for money?
maybe the meat's lean. You know what I mean?
Maybe that's why you're so lean. You eat a lot, but you stay
I don't
lean.
know. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's crazy, man. I was I did a lot of dumb things.
Well, I mean, on the list of dumb things, I guess that's not the dumbest you could do.
You made $2
Yeah.
grand.
You know what I mean?
I made
yeah,
$2
you
grand
did make
and-
$2
And
grand.
then he lost it all.
Damn.
I found out that I have a strong heart.
That's the
Yeah.
upside.
So, is it true that before you blew up, became rich and successful, that you were selling drugs?
Yeah, some of my misspent time as a youth.
All right.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Well, no, I was doing it. But at the time, that was right in the heart of the crack epidemic.
Now,
Yeah.
I read that you were selling out of you dropped out of high school and you started selling out of your mom's house.
I didn't necessarily sell out of my mom's house. I was just living at my mom's house while I
okay.
was selling. You
Yeah,
know what
yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's very, very, very few times, when I'm supposed to be standing outside and I might have came inside.
It might have been in your pocket.
And cats would knock on my window and, I go outside and make my money or what have you.
That's kind of what like trap music was based on, right? Like the kind of lifestyle.
Well, you know what? Yes, but the trap is where you go to conduct business as a drug dealer. Like there was this set of apartments that we would just go to. We went there, and a group of us. We were like kind of maybe 8 of us, 9 of us that were all around the same age, 14 to 16, 17, and that's where we all kind of just went and sold drugs for at least 2 or 3 years. Then we began to spread out, as we wanted more. As we wanted more from our efforts, we kind of felt like we had to go different places to kind of, spread out the opportunity.
And while you're selling drugs, you're still working on music and recording albums or
Well,
mixtapes.
I don't want to record no albums
Nah.
and mixtapes now. Mixtape wasn't a thing at the time. I was recording what we call demos.
Mm-hmm.
There you
I
go.
was
Yeah.
traveling back and forth to New York, to Brooklyn, working with a producer named Kevin Ryan, and we were making demos. And then I started producing myself, paying for my own studio time in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, back then, when there was no social media or anything like that, you literally had to go make these CDs and pass them out.
Sure.
Go state
But
by
back
state,
then it wasn't
city
even
by
CDs.
city.
They hadn't even made a way to burn CDs. Like it was more commercial. Like burning CDs, recording CDs back then. That was for commercial use.
Mm-hmm.
For personal use, we didn't have that. We had cassette tapes. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
You ever go to the gas station? Because in Hollywood, there's people all over here hey, check out my CD and buy it for $5.
Mm-hmm.
You ever think fuck it, I'll give this guy a listen. You listen, you're just like, this is the worst fucking shit I've ever heard. Because we did that one time, and it was like we hooked the guy up with money, and we're like, okay, yeah, we'll listen to your music, and we listen to it. We're like, what the fuck is this
Man, I have tried to give it a shot, and I've never found anything that was, I guess, above par.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Do you get a lot of guys coming up to you?
All the time.
Yeah.
That's like people asking you to kick him in the nuts. They ask him to listen to your music. You know?
Yeah.
I guess, yeah, similarities.
Like,
huh?
hey, I got this tape. Let me airdrop it. Now they can airdrop. And you're like, fuck.
Yeah, man.
That's
Yeah,
great.
but the thing is, man, I used to go and so when my first album dropped, didn't do so well. I got all of like the promotional CDs and all of the promotional items, and I travel South Carolina, Alabama, North Carolina, Tennessee, Florida. You know, I travel places within a 3-4 hour radius, and I'd pass out my stuff, and I'd tell, and when I sold you the CD, I would say, look, I'm gonna sell you this CD. I sit here, I smoke one with you, we'll listen, and if you don't like it, I give you your money back. And I never had
Money
to give
back,
nobody their
guaranteed.
money back.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
That's good, man. Are you a big weed guy?
Nah, not really. I smoked so much in my youth, man. I mean, I occasionally, you know, I hit a joint. You know, if I see who rolled it, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
for
I
sure.
can trust the person that's passing it to me. I hit a joint, but I don't just like wake up and smoke all day. That ain't.
You got shit to do now.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah. You're
Yeah,
a
I
CEO.
can't imagine. I think if you smoke all day, every day, like all
It
your
don't
life.
really do nothing. It don't really do nothing for me. You know, it don't get me high. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like high. Like when I have a drink, if I have 3 drinks, I feel the impact of my drinking. But I don't really feel. I feel the same when I smoke.
Do you drink before you go up and do comedy?
Yes.
Because you're nervous? Or because you want to
No.
get loose?
Nah, I think probably because I wanna be a lot more loose with my thoughts, effortless in my delivery.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I feel,
I've done it sober too. Not to say that, you know, I think the timing changes. The timing kind of changes. When I'm drinking, I think I'm a little less thoughtful about, you know, say this, then this, then this. You know what I'm saying? I just kind of let it flow.
That's what I'm talking about. Let it flow, baby. That's what everybody should do this holiday season. Let it flow, let it flow, let it flow. And I think you know what I'm talking about. It's business, baby. With ShipStation, we let the orders flow, man. The order comes in, and maybe it's because somebody wants the greatest stocking stuffer ever. Who doesn't want to pull a bottle of Steve-O's Butthole Destroyer out of their Christmas stocking? And what diehard Steve-O fan doesn't need a Steve-O bobblehead? Well, I'll tell you, these products don't ship themselves, baby. Now, we use ShipStation. When the order comes in, the label gets printed out, and we slap it on the box, put the goods in the box, and it's out the door. Just as simple as that. And this holiday season, this is the time, man. You don't want to have to worry about how you're getting all your orders shipped. No, you want them shipped easy. It brings together all of your different platforms. You're selling on Etsy, Amazon, eBay, your own website. All works within the one interface. And same as all the shipping services. So to try this out, to take advantage of the holiday season, you go to shipstation.com and use the promo code STEVO. That's going to get you a 60-day risk-free, hassle-free period to try it out, man. To try out this service and sell. Let it flow, let it flow, let it flow. The money, just let it flow. Yeah, dude. And again, to try this out, to make ship happen this holiday season, you go to shipstation.com and use the promo code STEVO for your 60-day risk-free trial. Yeah, dude. Happy holidays. Now let's get back to it.
A lot more like a freestyle. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot less redundant. A lot more comes to the mind.
A lot less robotic, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A lot less programmed.
I was listening to Jim Carrey talk about doing stand-up, and he was like, they're like, you ever smoke weed before you go up and do stand-up? And he was like, I did it once. And he's like, I went up, I smoked a joint, I went up on stage, and he's like, I fucking murdered. The hardest I've ever murdered in my entire life.
Right.
And he's like, I got off, and he's like, I can't do that because I didn't want to be dependent on this thing.
Yeah.
To like I'd have to like smoke, and so he only does it sober.
Well, you know, the first time I went up on stage, I had a drink in my hand, so I probably just developed a dependence right then. It's the first time, the
Yeah.
very first time. Remember I told you? So my buddy called me up on stage. Coming up on stage, whether he knows it or not. Tip Harris.
That's how he did it?
Yeah.
That's great.
And I had a drink in my hand when I went up there, and I just kind of, just. I guess it was sort of like I felt safe with this
sure.
drink, and it went well. So I guess out of habit, I just continued to do it.
Do you remember a first joke?
Man, the first time I went up there, I don't know if I had real jokes.
Sure.
Like I was really just. I was talking about the day and the ironic things that happened with the day. I'm like, hey, so why is it our fault that women don't know where they want to eat when it's time to go eat? Why is that our fault? Why is that our responsibility? Because me and my wife had just gotten to it. We leaving the house and she didn't know what she wanted to eat. Like, that was really something I had just went through, you know what I mean? And then I say, and why is it that my wife decides to get ready like 5 minutes before we have to be somewhere?
Oh, man.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I can tell her all day, hey, we have to be ready. We have to be ready. We have to be ready. And then 5 minutes, she's like, okay, I just got to do my hair, put my makeup on, and find my shoes. I'm like, yo, bro, we could have did this an hour ago. I think those were the types of things that I was talking about.
100%.
But there were no punchlines. It was just kind of ironic observation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like we've known for weeks that we got to be there at this time.
Weeks.
Yeah.
Weeks. You wake up, you tell them, don't forget, this time we got to leave. And then they act like, it could be 3 hours before. Now, and another thing, this is how I could tell that my wife has a horrible concept of time. When I have to be somewhere, let's say I have to be somewhere 1 p.m. and I'll get up at 10:30. And I get up and I start, brushing my teeth and taking a shower and picking out my clothes. And then I get dressed at about 11:30, 11:20. And I'm like, okay, about to get ready to go. She say, where you going? Why you leaving so early? I'm like, man, it's about to be 12 o'clock. I got to be there at 1. Say, yeah, it's too early to leave. I say, see, that's why you late everywhere, all the time.
Sure.
When am I supposed to leave? 12:59? You know what I mean? And she's like, nah, you going to stop somewhere. Where you stop? I guess, what makes you think I have time to make a stop if I have to be somewhere at 1 o'clock?
Yeah.
That's how you know that she just has a horrible concept of time.
Yeah, I think that's. Am I going to get in trouble if I say all women are like that? Or?
I don't think you get in trouble, but
my lady's like that, unless it's a wedding. If
Yeah.
it's a wedding, she takes it so seriously.
Man.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, a wedding is something serious.
Now, I've heard something about the construct of time being a fictional construct.
Yep. It's quantum mechanics, quantum physics suggests that time does not exist. There's no such thing as time. There's just all one moment with every infinite possibility all simultaneously occurring.
So one life is like an entire cycle.
I don't think we'll ever understand it. Problem of time. Wow.
Yeah, what were they doing in like the 1500s before the clock? Were they just?
Well, they had sunrise and sunset.
Yeah.
It's like when the sun sets forth on the morrow, I'll be there. Like, how do you know? Like when it gets past that tree, I'll be there.
Well, I can kind of tell time if I've been outside like all day, or I can tell like around, I guess, afternoon from morning. The sun shines a little differently. Like when the sun, like between 8 a.m. and 12 noon, the sun is like right in your face. You know what I'm saying? Like you're driving and you have to use the sun visor. And then between like 5:30 and sunset, it's back in your face again. You know what I'm saying? So for that, I can kind of tell. And a director taught me to gauge sunset. There's fingers. You get fingers in the tree line. So each finger is 30 minutes. So if you got 3 fingers from the sun to the tree line, you got an hour and a half. You know what I'm saying? I've learned little tricks along the way.
That sounds like sounds like you have to be shooting in the same place
Yeah.
for that tree line.
Yeah.
You know,
The
It
worst kind
might
of
be.
the worst kind of sun is when you leave a strip club and you're like, oh shit, it's sunny out there. That's the
You know what, man? I haven't had that happen to me in a long time, and I didn't know how much I missed it till just now.
Yeah, I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry.
I want to hear more about the movie Departments.
Yeah, Department. So it's a comedy, a hood comedy, set in a set of apartments in Atlanta, and it basically, you know, it finds the humor in the lives of these characters that make up this community. And all of us have a little Section 8 in us, you know what I'm saying? We all come from humble beginnings, so we take a little bit of our experiences and kind of place it in there and just deliver a story that I don't think any network or any film studio would have allowed us to do without a lot of adjustments and
Yeah.
changes. So we just told an authentic story in a language that only our people speak.
And this, when did this come out?
Oh man, I don't remember, October sometime, I think.
Okay.
Are there any like true stories in here from your own experience that you put in?
I think that, yeah, sprinkled in there is definitely some true to life experiences in here, you know. Like I had a mailman in a set of apartments that he was like the cool mailman. He'd come and buy weed from people. And,
Oh, really?
You know what I'm saying? I had every set of apartments have a candy lady. Every set of apartments have a mechanic that don't never fix on no car. You know, every set of apartment has, you know, somebody who's smoking but just as much a part of the community as anybody else. Every set of apartments have a annoying ass lease officer.
Yeah.
You know, every set of apartment have the young ladies who sit outside and know everybody's business and just kind of give commentary all day. I mean, you know, it's a lot of things that we grew up living through that made its way into the apartments.
That's great, man. And so you're the director of it.
Yes.
And you own it.
Yes.
So-
Directed it, wrote it, co-produced it with DC on Fly. Financed it and casted it. You know what I'm saying? There was no casting director. Each and every last one of these people were partners of mine, the people that I like envisioned for these characters.
And where do people find this?
Departments404.com. DAPARTMENTS 404.com.
All right. There it is, man. And did I hear like you're getting ready for your next movie?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a romantic comedy.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And is that gonna be same deal? Like you're gonna finance the whole thing? You're gonna direct the whole thing?
I might just finance half of this one.
Is it
Not, with the success of this, people are kind of throwing money at me now.
All right.
But I want to keep some skin in the game because, you know, I just feel like that offers a certain level of authority over the, you know, over the creativity of the project.
Is the romantic comedy already written? Or you
Yes.
still got to do all that?
Yes,
And
I'm
you're-
writing it.
You're the main guy?
Yeah, we've written. I mean, so
You have to convince your wife. Like, hey, okay, so I'm writing this romantic comedy. I'm gonna have,
I mean,
you
I
know,
don't
so and so
think-
be the other person.
Well, see, the funny thing about this comedy is, you know, everybody is in it, like, eager and excited to have sex, but nobody gets to. You know what I'm saying? There's always an interruption, always something that stops.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's about the taboo things that come with dating and relationships, and it's about the switch. So if you ever double dated with somebody, you and your buddy, and you know you got a girl and you got ask them if they got a friend, so y'all go on a trip or and y'all like find out that you like his girl better than, you see what I'm saying? So you have to, and everybody, and they feel the same way, but they don't want to go against the girl code. Y'all don't want to, nobody. It's an awkward kind of place to be in, and so the awkward nature of those circumstances provides a lot of comedy.
Okay. Yeah, that's fantastic.
The so the distribution or whatever, like the hosting, how's this put together?
What do you mean?
Like I'm
you
looking
have a paywall.
You've got a buy now, purchase with Catch App. Like, did you build the whole thing from scratch?
Yes, we did.
Wow.
Yes, we did.
That
it just seems it makes sense to like do it yourself nowadays. Like you don't need anybody.
Yeah, I got something that I just put out that I made by myself.
Okay.
It's a multimedia comedy special where I did like all this crazy jackass stuff, but I made a live comedy show out of it. And then after each
now, what is
bit,
Moment by Patreon?
That is how my project is hosted. I did this is my third comedy special. My second one we did ourselves. And the way that we put it together, it was just a little bit clunky. It wasn't like
What do you mean?
I mean, I don't know, like
you mean the way we filmed it, or all the bits that we put together?
The actual paywall. We put it together ourselves.
We got a dirty porn banker to because like it was
so
like rated X, and so you can't.
It was rated X.
That one was rated R. This one's rated X.
Why is it rated X?
Because there's a stunt that I do.
Would you like to see why?
No. I'm sure I don't. I'm almost certain I would not like to see.
Yeah.
There's a stunt I did where I'm skydiving, I'm in the airplane, I'm butt naked, and I gotta ejaculate simultaneously as I fall out of the airplane with another man strapped to my back.
I'm not even interested in hearing about that. Like, why?
Yeah.
What's your fixation with nakedness?
That's a good question. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
That's a good question.
And naked around like men, like that's something I never understood. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
in a cheetah thong.
White men find humor in like, slapping each other on the nuts and you know what I'm saying?
That doesn't happen around
getting
you guys?
naked, teabagging their buddies and shit like that. Nah.
You and your friends don't?
Ever.
Yeah, there's definitely.
I'm sure there are like in-house shootouts that have started.
Yeah, it happened once.
Maybe one time, and maybe 88, and it happened, and the whole house got shot up, and
that's funny.
We found out that wasn't the way to go.
Yeah, man.
That's a good question.
So in any case, Moment's a little bit more of a sophisticated experience.
So it's already built.
So like,
yeah, it's already built, and people can buy my shit.
Yeah, if you go to the bottom,
PayPal.
You see there's merch attached to it, so they can like add on to a cart, T-shirts and books. And
that's dope.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it's just a very, very slick, sophisticated way for people to distribute their own independent projects.
Okay.
And I'm pretty happy with how it's going.
Man, well, congratulations, man.
Yeah, thank you, dude. I appreciate that a lot, man.
Right on. Y'all still doing the jacket? Man, hold up, man. What'd you do with that hand?
Yeah, dude, my hand's good today. We had a Jackass movie come out last year.
Okay.
And that went really well, man. It's crazy too talking to you. Like, you remind me a little bit of my buddy Johnny Knoxville.
Johnny Knoxville, I man, he's a cool cat. He's a cool cat. I don't think I've probably met him in passing, but not really spent a lot of time, around him.
He's great, man.
Why? What's the similarity?
Just that there's just
they're cool.
They're cool, but there's just something about the way you speak a little bit, the way you smile. Just a little bit reminds me of Johnny Knoxville. I was thinking that while we were
Man.
talking.
There you go.
But yeah,
Who's
man.
richer?
Damn, I didn't know he'd gone gray.
Yeah.
Wow.
It turned out that he had been dyeing his hair since he was in his 20s. but it was during the pandemic that he couldn't get to the hairdresser person that dyed his hair.
Right.
Oh, I think he looks
Yeah.
better gray.
But I mean, you know what I'm saying? It brings out a certain je ne sais quoi. You know what I'm saying?
He's great, man. He's great. So, before we let you go, I do want to talk about your. You had a single out. Singles out. With
Yeah, it's called
music.
Vacay. Yeah.
It's called Vacay.
Yeah.
You got it. You did it with an artist from South Africa.
Yes, her name is Camo. Yes.
Camo, okay.
And the producer's also from South Africa. His name is Champ.
And this will be a single from Kiss the King.
Yes.
That's right. And okay,
Yes.
so the video's out on YouTube.
Yep.
Okay. And okay, when did this come out?
This came December 2nd.
All right, man. Did you ever hear about me trying to rap?
No.
Okay.
I was fortunate enough to dodge that
Oh shit!
No, not a word. not an utter.
That's good. Okay. That's great. All right, man.
I heard about you in the Wu-Tang.
Yeah, how about
you and
that?
Raekwon.
Yeah.
I don't know how you didn't see that coming.
For sure.
Yeah.
It might have been the ketamine or the weed.
Hey man, listen, I don't know how you didn't see that coming, bro.
Yeah, that is perfectly fair. I was drunk, but yeah, man, it's all good, dude. So we're telling everybody, first and foremost, you go to departments404.com
Indeed.
to watch this hilarious movie
Yeah.
set in.
And if you like it, please tell your friends about it, man. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? If you don't
course.
like it, just shut the fuck up. Don't say nothing. Just don't say anything.
I'm gonna watch that tonight.
That's
I appreciate
exactly
it,
right.
For sure.
I appreciate
It's
it.
Departments,
Yeah.
and then the new single is called Vacay.
Yeah.
Let's get that everywhere music streams, and watch the music video on YouTube.
Please.
And where do people find out where you're going to be doing comedy?
Well, Haha Mafia, at the Haha Mafia on Instagram.
Okay.
And you know, we pretty much post up our dates and stuff that we had going on. And yeah, we just
you're all
continue to
Raleigh.
push on through, man.
And the commercial real estate project with the construction building.
Oh, okay. So look, for the commercial real estate project, the mixed use development, I should say, we have about 18,000 square feet of retail space, commercial retail space that is on the ground level, and we need a supermarket and a pharmacy. So anybody out there, you know, if you're looking to come to Atlanta, bring your supermarket, your pharmacy, I need you to contact me somehow. I don't know how, but somehow.
Yeah, they do that.
Find a way. Come to Entrada on Bankhead and tell them I sent you. And because we need a supermarket and a pharmacy, it is a food desert, and people have to travel too far to fill their prescriptions.
Well, that's great. I'm glad you're doing that.
Yeah. And anything else that we want to shout out?
Man, I'm about to go ahead and do my set, man. Thank y'all for taking the time. I appreciate
Yeah,
y'all for being
man.
accommodating
Yeah.
with the
Yeah.
location too.
Ah,
Meeting
dude.
you.
My pleasure.
Yeah,
We
man.
love
I
love
love
bringing
and
it to the
respect.
guests. But yeah, dude,
right.
it was an honor, man. Thank you.
Love.
Can we agree that Tip is the coolest guest that we ever had? I mean, if you don't agree, or if you do agree, go ahead and leave a comment. You know, tell us who you think is the coolest guest, or that I'm right. And man, what can I say to my beloved, dear street team, the people who stick around to the very end of the Wild Ride podcast? I love you guys, and if I'm honest, I'm rather overwhelmed. I've been burning the candle at Both ends. I can't even say the word candle. I'm burned out, baby. I've been really, really going hard. And I think I'm going to take a little bit of time off. I'm going to retreat to Tennessee. You guys want to go to Tennessee? Yeah? Yeah.
Yes. I would love to check out your place, dude.
Yeah, I mean, dude, the bus is out there. We can record podcasts on the bus.
Yeah.
You want to go to Tennessee, Doug? All right, let's check it out, dude. I love you guys, everybody. And if you haven't seen the bucket list yet, haulass.stevo.com and check it out. It's fucking awesome. And again, I love you. Thank you. All right.